Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Litecoin's price chart and see what is going on in the short term. And finally, I think we are seeing some signs of life. And I do think now we are able to come up with a beautiful, beautiful invalidation point for our bullish case. So we are going to get into that. But before talking about what is happening in like very, very short term, let me tell you that overall in Litecoin, I think we do have a better optimistic setup. And as long as I'm not proven otherwise, I am going to say maybe in LTC, this is 5 up into 1. This is correction for wave 2. This can be maybe even another 1 and a 2. And we are going to have soon a good move up into our wave 3 and 4 and 5. And even this 5 wave up is going to be on a higher degree into this wave 3 correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. Can we have some other possibilities? The answer is yes. For instance, here is one. You can say maybe this is going to be, from this point to about the highs, just an A, B, C zigzag, simple as that. Followed by that, we are having a correction down though, potentially in form of an A, B, C flat. If you want to count on this shadow, which is on Binance's chart, I'm going to tell you in a bit why I'm saying if you want to count this shadow. But if you do, well, okay, this means we are having ABC up to about here into a wave W, correction down, let's say so far in form of a flat into wave X, and well, okay, the conclusion in LTC, even according to this count, is sort of kind of the same. Meaning what? We are going to have at least another good move up into our wave Y. However, two very important points in here. Number one, our move up in LTC in the midterm is not going to be in form of a 5 wave. Instead, is going to be in form of an ABC zigzag. And number two, in this phase, if you want to go according to this scenario as your primary one, well, okay, there's actually a very, very good chance that in Litecoin, we are not going to take the all-time high about, let's say, $412 in this cycle, hopefully in the next one. Question is, which scenario do we think is happening? Well, I'll be honest with you, at the moment, at least, I don't really care. Why? Because both of these scenarios do indicate we are going to get a move up. So I'm just going to wait for that, and then based on the shape of the move up that we are going to get, I am going to have a much better analysis and judgment. For now, let's count on a move up as long as we are not proven otherwise in the midterm. Question, this is my final one, I promise you. When is it that we are going to be proven otherwise? When we get a move down in Litecoin, and in that move, we take, in my view, this very important slow down here, about $65. Now, you might right away say, well, okay, in this chart, in the recent liquidation event, which by the way was the biggest one in history, we absolutely took the loss. Well, the answer is yes, if you want to go according to this chart, which is from Binance. For example, if you check out Coinbase's chart, which is, I think, yep, a much clearer chart. As you can see, in this phase down, we did not take the loss. And in my view, according to Coinbase, this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. I don't know, who knows, maybe it's going to be into an A leg, followed by a correction for wave B, and was 6. Great move up into our C leg. For now, in the midterm, I would like to be bullish in LTC as long as I'm not proven otherwise. And the moments that we take the loss, okay, I am going to be proven otherwise 100%, and I'm going to flip bearish at least in the cycle. Who knows what is going to happen in the next one. Now, having said all that, let's go on some lower time frames and see what is going on in the short term. Maybe it's best to go on, no, actually 15-minute time frame is good. You see, if you remember the last time that we talked about LTC, we talked about the idea of this move on the downside being in form of an A, B, C zigzag, and we said it is going to be confirmed when we get a move up, and in it we take the height of our B leg right in here about, let's say, $100, and we are, as you can see, very close to taking that, but we are not completely there yet. We also said if you want to be bullish in LTC and you want to, around the lows, call for a good move up and say this is actually the low of our correction, fair enough, then show us off of the lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave in order for us to flip bullish. This specific structure is called an impulse. Rules for this are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, our wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, I think you know it. we must have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5, and for wave 2 and 4, we can have many different possibilities. Not that important. Let's say sure. ABC into wave 2 and yeah, a WXY structure into wave 4. Now, let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. And I think the last time that we talked about Litecoin, specifically, we were right in here and we said, look, in LTC, you need to see a bit of a pullback, but then a rather strong continuation of the move up. And as you can see, we are getting our move on the upside, but I think we can all agree by no stretch of the imagination, this is a strong move on the upside. Why? Okay, simple. Let's just compare timing wise to the previous move. How long is it taking for us to have this thing? This is, by the way, on 15-minute time frame, and as you can see, about 850 candles. On the other hand, in about, let's say, 450 candles, we managed to have this good strong move on the downside. So it seems like that right now, at least, clearly bulls are not really showing signs of strength. However, I would like to be optimistic, and I'm gonna say that may end up changing soon. Why? Because of the counts in terms of Helios waves that I have as my primary case. So here is what's going on in my mind. I fully get it. It doesn't really look like it, but in my view, this is actually 5 up into 1 and probably to about this point, we are having a correction for wave 2, followed by a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into our wave 3 right in here. There we go. Correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. Excuse me. Okay. Now, in this area in Litecoin, I think we can all agree that this is a 3-wave movement. Potentially, I'm going to say in form of an ABC, or maybe, yes, preferably actually a WXY in form of a double zigzag. Generally, I think this is a correction structure. Now, what is going on at the moment? Well, here is the deal. I think in Litecoin, this might be maybe 5 up to about here into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, another move up into wave 3, correction for 4, and right now we're gonna have another good move on the upside into wave 5, and then from this point moving forward, we are going to divide our analysis to 2 very important counts. Scenario number 1 suggests in LTC, the coming move up that we are going to get in the next 5 to 7 days is going to be a rather strong one, and at that point, count on this whole move on the upside to be in form of, I think you know what I'm about to say, right? Yes, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, meaning the bottom is in, and we are going to basically have a bit of a V-shaped recovery. Scenario number 2, on the other hand, suggests that maybe this move up is not actually going to be that strong, and as opposed to a 5 wave, we are just going to witness in here an ABC zigzag, which is a bit of a bearish count, suggesting from these areas in LTC, I don't know, maybe from 1.5, 1.10 even, we are going to get a good move down in order to visit the lows down here in Coinbase's chart, which, by the way, at least I think in this chart, we do have these shadows, which the lowest point is about, let's say, $71 to $75. Question is, which scenario is going to happen? At the moment, I really cannot tell you for sure, and I really want to be optimistic and call for a very strong move up into our wave 3 and basically say, you know what, we have hit our final low. I really want to be optimistic like that, but at the same time, I need to be, as an analyst, 100% objective, and at any given moment, pay attention to the bullish and also the bearish scenario all at the same time. Now, here is the deal though. If in Litecoin, after having this continuation of the move up, you see a rather strong move down. And by that, I'm talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without a lot of overlapping of the waves in order to take this important low down here about, let's say, $90 area. At that point, I'm telling you, count on this thing to be just a simple correction in form of an ABC zigzag and count actually on a continuation of the move down. On the other hand, if we see after this move on the upside, as opposed to like a very strong move down, maybe a bit of a consolidation pattern followed by another move up, you know what? That is going to be an awesome sign suggesting the bottom is in, because at that point, it's just going to be so easy to consider this thing as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, indicating, yeah, we have hit our final low, and this is indeed a bullish setup, and we are indeed, hopefully, in full recovery mode. So, what you want to see for now in Litecoin in the next 5 to 7 days, which I do think is going to happen, a continuation of the move up. What you want to see after it is really the key in my view, because if we get a rather strong move down in order to take this important low about $90, that's not going to be a good sign, and at that point you need to be a bit bearish. On the other hand, if you see just a simple correction into your wave 4 followed by another small move up into wave 5, that is going to be a great sign, since at that point you are able to find off of the lows and impulse. And in terms of Elliott waves, this is basically the most bullish sign that you need to see in any chart if you want to call for a continuation of an uptrend. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Litecoin's price chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.